Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk with Sacha. I'm your hostess, Sacha Johnston. Tonight, we have a very special guest for you. We have a new organization in Albuquerque called the Kindness Club, which emphasizes interactions between students and their community to try to increase their moods and attitudes and show them better ways and chances of success. My guest tonight has been a teacher for many years and worked with underprivileged students and was the creator of the Kindness Club, Melinda Forward. Melinda, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So you have been a teacher, and I'm sorry, how long have you been teaching?
This will be my 29th year.
So you've been at this for quite some time.
I've been at this for quite some time.
And you've taught at what in Albuquerque is known as Title I schools.
Title I schools.
And Title I schools tend to have an abundance of underprivileged students that attend.
Yes, yes.
So you've had a lot of firsthand experience getting to know some of the struggles that some of these students and challenges that they face. So can you talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges and struggles you've seen?
What I've seen with my students, and Title I schools are often schools that are very high in free and reduced lunch, meaning the students are in high poverty areas. And oftentimes they lack relationships are a big deal. Like they may not have really strong relationships at home. Food is sometimes an issue. They're often traumatized. Trauma is something that they experience often in many different ways, and they often just don't fit in. Sometimes there's some of these kids that are really amazing people, but they can't quite find their way, especially some of them if they're not involved in sports, like sports or music or some of those like the student government. Some of those kids aren't involved in those things, and sometimes it's a money thing. It costs money to be involved in things. It takes experience, it takes sometimes family support that they may not have. So part of what I saw is there's a large group of students who are kind of on the edge of everything, that maybe want to be involved but don't know what to do, and they may not have a place to do that. So that's one of the things that I really saw in my time working there.
And it seems like you, in the time that we've spent with you, it seems like you're trying to do quite a few things to change some of those circumstances for these students. So you've created activities that students can participate in without any monetary contribution or any kind of skill level or any real prerequisite. So you've made a lot of all-inclusive things. So why don't you tell us about a couple of those things?
So part of our motto is Kindness Club International, where everyone belongs and we all have a voice. It's really important to me. Any event we do, there's no charge for anyone for any kind of fee. We do a couple of projects. One that's really popular is Inspiration Rocks, which is literally putting out a gigantic table of rocks with markers, often not Sharpies that are shiny and metallic, and having everybody just sit down and talk to one another and create rocks. They may leave, they may take them with, they may leave them on the table, they may take them with them. That's one that's really popular. Another one that's really popular is Take a Smile. And we have a challenge going on right now. We have monthly challenges online, and we put them out for individuals, for schools, and it's a little poster that says take a smile. It has little smiles on it, and you tear off the smiles and then you share them. It's literally that simple. And in a school we put them in all different colors. The kids pass them around themselves, we put them up on the walls, they take them home, they put them out in businesses, and that has been a really popular project because it's so simple, it's so easy, and even if students are shy and they're kind of hesitant to get involved in something, they're often very excited to take one of these, and it's like the whole class. So at the first I'll ask the class, hey, anybody want to pass these out? A couple girls usually will raise, okay. But by the end of the offering, like, do you want to do this? Everyone will have one. Everyone, all the boys that you could kind of tell they wanted to, but they wouldn't. Once it becomes the in thing, then it becomes not the in thing to not do it. So that's another one, our Take a Smile challenge.
One thing I really enjoyed watching is you don't just focus on activities for just the students. You've actually found a way to create activities that not only encourage student participation, but encourage parent and teacher participation as well, which it seems like you've actually had quite a bit of success with. And I know that's the murals.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the murals?
Yes. So I created a T-shirt for my organization that had a tree on the front. And I started a club at Van Buren Middle School, and we put the tree as a mural on the wall. And then that just evolved to one mural, to another, to another. And what I found is that the mural was a really great space to bring people together. That anyone can paint. We have an outline often, so you're not making things up, you're painting within, painting over the stencil or painting in the lines, and everyone then becomes an artist. And often I'm not an artist. I'm like, well, you just paint on the lines. They're like, I can do that. So adults and kids say that. And then everybody has that place. So it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're part of the school, if you're part of the community, it really just brings everyone together. And then that creates something lasting that is just this huge visual for change and transformation. And so it's really this outward expression of what's going on the inside of a school and on the inside of all the kids and the people. And for me as a community partner these past 2 years in a variety of schools, including Whittier Elementary School, it's sometimes hard. You don't get to know a lot of people. So we did a mural festival at Whittier where we put up 5 murals in 7 days. And huge murals, not small ones, but huge ones. And their mascot was the lion. So we have a whole lion theme and a safari. We have our Be the Change tree. And over the course of the week, everyone painted. And we had mural nights where parents would come and community events as well. And it was a huge success.
So tell me about the Be the Change tree. This is something, I see it on your t-shirt and I saw it on the mural at Whittier. It was very inspiring to see this giant tree. So tell us about your tree.
Okay, so Be the Change tree has been a design I've had for a little over a year, but didn't quite know what to do with it until Mural Festival last year in September. I needed a design, and I worked with Three Little Birds Cafe and Company, and they asked me to do a design outside their building, and that was it. So we chose Be the Change as our theme, and then painted a 30-foot tree on the east side of the wall at Tulane and Silver. So go see it. It's really amazing. It's huge. And then they wanted to sponsor a tree to school. So we did fundraising. We created t-shirts together. And then they fundraised so that we could do a mural in another school. And then they chose Whittier because it's like 5 minutes from there. And from there, that tree then is spread to all different schools. And it's getting bigger as far as the actual design. We started including more of the mascots and actually student silhouettes over at McKinley Middle School. You can see there are students in the picture with the Be the Change tree. And it's really evolving. We're really wanting to change the perception of schools. So starting to paint the fronts of buildings. And it shows everybody that this is a place where change takes place. And we are all a part of this. So a part of it's Be the Change, and then it's We Are the Change. Kindness begins with us.
Well,
That's
Melinda,
the theme.
we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how Kindness Club has actually been making an impact around the world and some of the other projects that they've been working on to make other communities just as prosperous. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Thank you for joining us on Real Talk with Sacha. We're here with Melinda Ford today, and Melinda's telling us about her new organization, the Kindness Club. And Melinda, I'm really impressed with the traction that you're getting, because it seems like you started at one school, but this is really spreading throughout the city. You've actually done projects at several schools now. So
Yes.
can you elaborate on that for us?
I've done murals so far in 14 different schools.
Wow.
And we have 30 murals up.
Wow.
So our Be the Change tree is one of them, our kindness tree, but then we have a variety of other trees, and we're actually doing 4 mural festivals this fall. So I'm very excited to have that work again like it did at Whittier in the spring. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. And part of, I think, what helps is that we're doing, I have these monthly challenges. And so every month, the kids at a school want to start a kindness club. They have a challenge, whether it be smiles or writing thank yous or putting up a gratitude tree sculpture or inspiration rocks. We have a variety of challenges that are designed for a small group of students to begin, but then to have it go to the whole school. And by having challenges like that, I'm able to put them online and then put them out to schools around the world. So we have 124 schools and organizations around the world who have signed up to start up clubs and to be a part of this whole program. So that's a part of it going global, which is amazing.
So
just amazing.
I've seen that you've actually done a TED Talk about this, and I had an opportunity to watch your TED Talk. And you talked about how you started all this with notes, thank you notes, and teaching children gratitude through these thank you notes. And so I thought that was really inspiring. What gave you that idea?
Well, the idea to have kids writing notes came from a note that a student wrote to me that I found about 8 months after she wrote it. And at that point, I was having a really hard time at teaching. My position had kind of changed a little bit, and I wasn't sure if I was really, it just wasn't what it had been in the past. But when I found her note, I realized that I was in the right place, I was doing the right thing, I was making a difference, and that just really helped me be inspired and gave me more power, I guess, to get through the hard parts that were going on. And I thought, well, maybe we could do this school-wide, have my whole class do it. And everyone goes through hard times at some point, and just having kids write notes feels good. Like when you just write a note, you yourself feel good, and then passing that along, it really is powerful. And I found that when the school did it all together, the impact was huge, because we had hundreds of kids writing thank you notes. So hundreds of people were receiving them. And then I put the challenge out to other schools and other teachers, and they started doing the same thing. And then that's when we really started expanding. And I did a talk on Twitter for a global presentation, and that's how we got the name the Kindness Club, because a school in Hawaii, a teacher there said, oh, this sounds like our Kindness Club and the projects we're doing. And I didn't really have a name for our club. It was We All Have a Voice, but didn't really have a name. And I said, Kindness Club is perfect. So that's when we adopted Kindness Club, and we were a sister school with this school in Hawaii for a while. And then that's where this whole idea that all these projects fall under kindness in a variety of different ways.
And I think that's what I find most interesting, and that I love about what you're doing the most, is it seems like you're genuinely trying to spread kindness, and especially in some of the most difficult places to find kindness. And I hear that it's even inspired some kindness around the world.
Yes.
So you shared with me some interesting things that have happened with a group. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and doing live feeds, and I see other people come up on my posts, and there was an organizer in Uganda, and I started seeing some of his posts where he was doing live videos, and they were passing out school supplies to children. And then I saw another video where they were doing a tomato project with youth, and then I saw another one where they were working with women, and chicken project. And I was really curious to find out what they were doing and what they wanted to do. And I started just messaging with Dumba in Uganda, and found out that there was this big need for the children. He's taken in 27 orphans, which to me is the ultimate form of kindness, that they have taken in 27 orphans and widows into their family home.
Wow.
And are feeding them and clothing them and using the little resources that they have to take care of one another. And I was really inspired by that. And I thought, well, what can we do? We are an international organization, but what can we do to partner with them so that we can help use the vast resources that we have and help them do more work with the children? So we've been taking donations, and in a matter of weeks, we've provided scholastic supplies for 21 children. So we have 9 to go until we have the 30 that are staying with him. And then we're also looking to invite schools and students to help raise funds for an orphanage, because they're not going to be able to keep this going as long as it is. So now we're going to invite the students and schools in Albuquerque and around the world to help contribute to this orphanage in Uganda. So how can we all come together to make this possible?
And I love this idea, from trying to create an environment of inclusion and gratitude and connection. You now have a lot of people trying to help support an orphanage being built in a place very far away, but a place that really, really needs it. And I think that that alone is inspiring, because you started off with a small idea to make some sort of small change and impact in your students' lives. And even if it worked for only a few, it'd still be worth it. But now, now you have the opportunity to make an impact in 27 children's lives, somewhere across the globe, who had a far greater need than even most of the students in our community had. So I thought that was a really inspiring story. And I know we've talked about the world. What are some of the other stories from across the country that you have heard? Not just from Albuquerque, because I know it's had a huge impact here. And I know you said you've worked with teachers all over the country, and we've talked about Hawaii. What are some of the things that you've heard from teachers from outside our community who have implemented some of the ideas that you've had?
Yeah, there have been schools around the country, thousands and thousands of letters and thank you notes that have been written. And often teachers will say just what a difference that note made to them. Like the same impact it had on me, it had on them. I've also had teachers say that over the course of the year, when they've done this consistently, they do Thankful Thursday every Thursday. That's just what it is. It's part of their culture. That by the end of the year, the notes are much more complex in their ideas and their expression of gratitude than they were in the beginning. So this really is a gratitude. It's a tool for literacy, but this personal writing that students can do forever, and hopefully they will. And I've had students say that years later, they now write thank you notes to their professors. They write thank you notes to people around them. They never would have thought to do that before. So it's interesting because the experiences are very similar, and that's just great, because that's what I want. I want everyone to have this really positive experience and being more connected. And then people are writing the notes, feel good too, and it's not about receiving, it's about giving. And the kids are like, well, what if I don't get one? Or what if someone doesn't get one? I'm like, it's not about that. It's about us giving. And that's a gift to ourselves. And having kids see that and learn that is really special, because then that they can take with them for a lifetime.
So when we came out and we were with you on the day you were painting at Whittier, you know, we got to talk to teachers, we got to talk to parents, and we got to hear what an incredible impact that they feel that this has on their school. And Whittier is one of those schools that I would consider a high need.
Yes.
You know, they have a lot of challenges, especially with the students in their community. But you have had the benefit of doing this for so long. You've actually interacted with former students who are now adults. And I wanted you to talk about that experience as well, and what they've talked to you about when they come to you and say, hey, Miss Forward, you know, what have you heard from students who are now adults who got to participate in some of these things?
What I've heard is them saying that it really made a difference for them when they were at school. Like that being able to, the participation, that opportunity to be with a group of other students who were all about spreading kindness, helped them lower their stress level, helped them feel like they fit in, helped them feel important, that they were valued, and they didn't really feel that anywhere else. They didn't feel valued, they didn't necessarily feel like teachers cared about them. And not that that's the way it was, but that perception, sometimes it's a perception issue. And that was really special to know that they got that I cared, because I think that for me is really important in teaching, that the students understand how much I care about them as people. Like I teach kids first, and then I teach them French, or I teach them these leadership skills, which is really what I'm doing with these kids, these leadership skills, but I'm teaching these like little humans who are so amazing, and they're so amazing, but they've got these trials and tribulations, and they're always going to have them. And I talk about that. This is a life thing, and we're all in this together.
Well, Melinda, we're going to take another break, but when we come back, we're going to tell everyone who's watching how they can participate in the Kindness Club and how they can get involved more with their schools and their communities. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Good evening, everyone. We're back on Real Talk with Sacha, and we've been talking with Melinda Forward from Kindness Club International tonight. Now, Melinda, you have all these great ideas, but you're only one person. And I know that your organization depends highly on community involvement. That's kind of one of the tenets of the organization, is getting other people involved. So I kind of wanted to stop for a minute and talk about some of the ways that people who are watching could get involved. I know that there's lots of different opportunities for that to happen, so maybe you could share some with us.
Sure, and that is definitely true. I'm just one person. This thing is way bigger than I am. I talk about this, I laugh, like, this thing is huge. I do have so many ideas. And I can't be in all schools, but other people can. Like, literally, other people can be in every school, everywhere. So part of what people can do is go online to thekindnessclub.net and register for one of our challenges, for our Take a Smile challenge. You can join the club, which I would love, and if you do that, then we will send you email updates about meetings that are going on. We're probably do a meeting like once every month, a community meeting here in Albuquerque, but we'll also be live streaming from that event and how you can get involved, because you can get involved from anywhere in the world with these activities. So there's community meetings online. We're going to be doing 4, maybe 5 mural festivals in schools this fall, and we need people to help run those. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about at our community meetings, and people can come out and help with that. And then there's also a donation aspect.
So people can join for absolutely free. It doesn't cost anything
Nothing.
to sign up for this stuff on the
Nothing.
website, and they can volunteer, and that's all completely free as well. But there's another way I know we've talked about people can help, and that's sponsoring some of these murals and some of these challenges at these schools.
Yes.
So can you tell us, if someone wanted to sponsor a mural, what would they need to do, and what would that entail? What would that include for you guys if they decided to sponsor a mural?
Okay, so yes, so we're looking at 4 schools with 4 to 5 murals per school, so that's about 20 murals that we're looking to put in these schools. So if someone wants to sponsor a mural, they can go online to join the club, and there's a link, say I'd like to sponsor a mural. Or I know someone who'd like to sponsor a mural. So that is also in there. And then that'll put me in touch, and I'll be able to contact them. And for the sponsors, what that'll provide for us is the paint, glitter, because I use glitter in my murals. So that's often, sometimes as expensive as paint is the glitter,
Yes.
because that's kind of funny, but it is. And brushes and all the other supplies, but then also for staff to come help paint. So what we do is we have everybody involved, which means we have to have people helping the kids and directing and doing that. So that's a part of it too. It helps with that coordination. And then if someone sponsors a mural, then we'll put their name on it, on a plaque, and then we'll also put them online and promote them for that and in everything that we're doing. So it's really, really important for us that it's a partnership where we're really supporting the people in the community who are supporting us.
And when you say you get people involved, I know at Whittier you got even the custodial staff involved, and there was even a boom lift involved, because that, what is that, 30 feet high?
At least. Oh, it's probably 35. It's
Yeah.
a really tall building.
It's a 2-story, 3-story
Yes.
building, and you painted the entire side of it. And so I know that there's a lot that goes into this. And so for some of the murals, a boom lift is required because of the height of the wall and everything.
Yes.
I did see you have a lot of supplies as far as when you bring them for the kids to use, you make sure they have lots of different colors of paint, lots of different brushes, and lots of paper towels, because as we've discovered, paint goes
It
everywhere.
really does. It does. And little wet wipe things really help too.
They
So,
do.
yes.
They do. So now we talked for a minute about the project in Uganda.
Yes.
If somebody wanted to contribute specifically for that, what could they do? How could they get to you or make sure that their contribution goes towards that project?
Okay, so on my website, front page, same thing. So it's thekindnessclub.net. You can go down and it says to sponsor, to participate, and you'll see a picture of the little kids just smiling, and you click on that and it'll go to that page, and then it explains all the different things they're doing there. Like I said, there's the tomato project and the chicken project, and they're wanting to build the orphanage, and so then you can contribute to those different projects. And if you'd like to sponsor a child to go to school full-time, and that's $40 a month, and then there's a link right there, and they just make it a monthly thing, and then we will connect you with the child that you are actually adopting there, and we post pictures online, and it's very transparent. I know sometimes people are very nervous about contributing. I've had people, when I was actually sending the money to Uganda, like, okay, do you know? I'm like, no, I know, I'm good,
Yeah,
good.
you
But
actually have
there's a reason,
connections.
I vetted. I mean, I'm very, very careful, and so I really honor the work that they're doing, and I honor funds from people. I really value that. And that's what they need. So they need that funding. So right online, you can go and see what's needed there, and there's many different ways.
For just $40 a month, you can pay for a student to go to school.
Yes.
What kind of stuff does that take care of for that student? What does that contribution go towards?
Okay, so in Uganda, they have school fees. So they're $25 to $30 a month for the children. So part of it'll go towards the school fees, and another part will go towards food and clothing, things like sleeping mats even, and mattresses. So it's interesting when you see a student get sponsored that the first thing they'll have their school supplies, but then you'll see that they have tennis shoes. And then you see in a picture again that they have a sleeping roll and a blanket or a mosquito net, and you just see them light up. And I think that's what Kindness Club International is all about, is like spreading this positivity and spreading kindness with whatever resources we have to change lives. And the people who've contributed already, they've changed lives. I mean, we've got pictures online, you see these kids and their smiles, and it's just amazing, because I feel like whatever problems I have going on, they're nothing.
That's the way I just felt too. When
Absolutely
you're
nothing.
talking about children who are getting excited about having a pair of shoes or a blanket or a mat to sleep on the floor
Exactly.
on.
Right.
And I think to myself, no matter what's happening that's bad in my life, these are kids and they're dealing with the most severe aspects of reality.
Yeah.
So it's so inspiring that, not only are you making change locally, and not only are you doing it at many schools and at many age levels with students, but you're also able to inspire connections and activities with the teachers and the parents and the school staff. And now you're inspiring local people to try to make an impact across the world. I mean, that's a lot that you have going on, and all while you're still a teacher.
Yes.
So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, Melinda, I gotta say. I think you have a really amazing idea, and I think that you have a lot of potential with your idea, and I'm seeing, just since I heard about it recently, I've seen how much of an impact, now that I know about your club, that you've actually been able to make across this city. So, and at Whittier, I mean, it was just so, the murals changed the attitude of the school. It made it bright and happy and really nice. So I just want to say I'm completely inspired by you. And I am fully supportive.
Thank you.
And I certainly hope that our audience, is inspired to get involved, to either start a kindness club at their own school, to contribute or sponsor. You don't even have to sponsor a whole mural. You can sponsor part of one, right?
Mural. You can buy t-shirts. We have t-shirts. We have all sorts of other things so that you can participate and wear this conversation everywhere you go, which is kind of cool because I get asked all the time for my t-shirt. Be the change. What's that all about? And at a store a week ago, the cashier asked me about that, and I'm like, oh, it's about this. But the guy's like, oh my goodness, I had this lady in here, and she was all mean. I don't think I did anything wrong. And I was like, you probably didn't. I'm like, everybody has bad moments and bad times, and so you're very kind. I can see that. And just like that conversation, because I was wearing this shirt, is inspiring to me. Like just that building of relationships.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Melinda. You've been an amazing guest, and I hope we get to have you on again soon.
Thank you.
And thank you to our audience out there for joining us tonight. We hope to see you next time on Real Talk with Sasha. Good night.